Want to join the World of Warships CC program? G'day mates and my fellow captains. You have come to the right place. Welcome viewers and fellow streamers out there. So you have been streaming World of Warships, or you're just interested about what is available within the World of Warships community? Well, what shall we talk about? Alright, so you have checked out the World of Warships content guideline page and you feel overwhelmed. Don't stress, I know the feeling. I was like that too, and didn't know where to start or begin. However, this video is about guiding you on the right path and hoping it will encourage you in the right direction. Alright, so let's start with the basics about giving you some guidance and tips on how to start off with your streaming career on your social media platform and then work on it into becoming the next possible community contributor for World of Warships. A quick disclaimer that all these views and opinions are my own, and whatever we're talking about in here today will not only help you for just World of Warships, but for other gaming communities as well too. The first step is to identify which server or region you're focused on. So, if you're on EU, NA, Asia server, focus on the server you play the most on, and then build up on your communities from there. And remember, as you expand on your reputation as a streamer, you are here for the fun of it. But not only that, you're slowly working on building on from that. Then slowly expand onto other servers as you interact with your viewers and the possibilities of your future streams later down the track. The second step is to decide which streaming platform you like to focus on. First off, let's talk about your streaming platforms. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Kick, for example, are the most common streaming platforms out there today. However, World of Warships is focused on YouTube and Twitch platforms, so I would decide which suits you best there. Twitch does have one cool benefit, bringing new people, and that is the Twitch drops. So I would consider checking that out if that works for you, because it does help bring newcomers into your community and interact with them, and at the same time you get to know them as well too, and build up your communities slowly. After choosing which stream platform you like to stream on, start on working on your hardware and set up for some stream goals. So let's talk about that in a moment here. So let's talk about hardware. Let's think about your hardware at home. Every streamer and gamer out there can either afford the top of the range gear or even the basics. Nowadays, you would need a system with at least 16 gig of RAM and a decent 8 GB video card with a decent Intel or AMD processor at home. World of Warships is not a very power hungry or high demand graphics oriented system, but having more RAM and a solid state hard drive system actually helps improve your own system efficiency and loading up software and games faster and running your stream software more smoothly. Having a minimal graphics card like the GTX 1080 Ti, for example, is decent, but if you probably look into the idea of maybe investing into RTX 3060 or something similar like the Radeon 6800 series, in my opinion, you'll be more satisfied with the results. Gamers would believe that sometimes having the best hardware on the market is considered bragging rights, and you're probably right in saying so, but that is mostly focused on high intensive graphics, RAM and CPU usage, pushing your system to the limits. Some people have systems with at least 64 gig of RAM, like DDR4 RAM these days, and have like a 4 terabyte solid state hard drive. To me, it's a bit too much unless you're doing video editing and other things at home, but we'll get to that later. Here's my recommendation. Start off with by having a look into a system with at least 12 gig RTX 3060 and something similar to that, and at least a system with having at least 16 gig of RAM or better. CPU wise can be either the Intel 12th generation or the AMD 5600X as a minimum spec, and then work away from there. Your main hard drive for the CPU must be at least 2 terabytes, for solid state hard drive for your operating system as well as your games. And then you have to have at least a storage hard drive, at least 4 terabytes or better, for whatever you want to do. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of things, you know, take into consideration here, because like, you know, hardware is a bit scarce these days, but you can decide whatever is best for you in going forward. So let's talk about that more here in a moment here, about your streaming equipment as such. Now, we're going to be talking about your streaming equipment in general here. So you have to just try and decide, you know, what streaming software and streaming equipment works well for you. And that is, you know, you have to do your own research and everything involved. But with that being said though, streamers will need to examine and test and decipher which streaming software works well for them. I would recommend OBS Studio, however, others may have discovered XSplit or Streamlabs OBS will be better for them. OBS Studio and XSplit both have the option to download extra additional plugins and can be quite powerful in the long run, just letting you know. Microphones are a bit tricky, but it comes down to what works well with you for your own voice, and also understanding, you know, what kind of sound quality you're looking for as well too. I mean, like, for example, I'm using an Audio-Technica microphone here. Years ago, I used to use a Yeti microphone. Both of them are great. I would recommend, you know, as a starting point, look into the idea of having either an Audio-Technica or a Yeti microphone. Then you need to decide what headset works well for you. You don't have to have a wireless headset, even though it comes in handy when you're doing stand-ups, exercises, whenever you're streaming, getting donations, subscribes. Some people just do it, you know, for the fun of it. That's fair enough, you know, that's great. Also, it gives you an opportunity to stretch and walk away, talk, and at the same time, you get to chill and have fun with the community as well too. So there's always an opportunity for doing that. One thing I have noticed is that, you know, having a USB, you know, headset is actually not a bad thing, or wireless headset is actually in some cases very handy to have, you know, multiple audio channels and configuring your stream software to be able to capture the voices. For example, when you're on Discord or TeamSpeak or Ventrilo or whatever the voice chat program you're using, you can interact with them, but at the same time that the audience gets to hear from them as well too, and you can actually enjoy that, you know, flexibility. But at the same time though, that if you think about it, that music is nice to have, but it's not a must-have feature to have on stream. Just be careful of understanding that you have to balance the audio for your music on the stream itself, but at the same time that you have to be careful about, you know, DMCA and copyright laws and things like that as well too. So sometimes that your VODs can be muted, and honestly, you know, like there's some music blocked in some regions as well too, so take that into consideration. So when you're doing about the music side of things, there are ways around it and how to comply within your stream platform. So go check it out and how to do it, because there's several ways you can do it by doing so. Now, webcam or no webcam, I mean, like, let's just be honest. I mean, like, this is not a must-have feature. I mean, like, first and foremost, you see me on a webcam, right? But if I flip it over here, like no webcam at all, it is kind of weird, you know, like you hear somebody talking, but at the same time you don't have that, you know, interaction on the screen as well too. But it's okay. I mean, like, it's very optional. So people do have a preference in terms of, like, you know, seeing the person on the camera and getting to know them. Others don't have the don't care reference, because it doesn't matter, you know, like for whatever reason. Now, I know that there are some people out there who have, you know, jobs that's specific not to show their faces online or anything like that because of security reasons or whatever it is, and that is perfectly respectable. I know that for a fact. So whether you want to have a webcam or not is up to you. And the good thing about not having a webcam, ladies and gentlemen, is this, is that if you need to talk to your family members who get into your room and they don't want to see it, have their face shown, or you got other things that's going on behind the scenes and you don't want people to see it, that's actually considered to be a very good thing. Now, in all honesty, if you have no camera, and even if you do have a camera, one general tip, and that is always be proactive on the stream, always talk. Yes, I know when I just said that, it is difficult, but it is a tricky one. Now, here's a very tricky one for you. Green screen or no green screen? Okay, so this one has got, to a lot of people out there, and I have to say that what you're seeing right now, I'm using a green screen right now. But if I were to turn off my green screen in a moment here, which is about right now, this is actually pretty cool because the funny thing is that my green screen behind me right now is actually covering the wall and my posters and stuff like that, and I can pull it down anytime I wish. So that's actually a pretty cool feature. So let me just quickly do a quick demonstration and show you how it works. So this is how it works. Hold in the screen and pull it up. Pretty cool, huh? I know. So green screen is nice to have. If you're interested in getting a green screen, there's several green screens out there. There's actually, self-made ones. Also, there's things you can put mounted on your chair, or the Elgato green screen that I'm using right now at home, which you can actually have it wall mounted or actually put on the floor. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, go check them out. It's actually very handy in the long run. Whenever you're streaming on the platform for the first time, and I know it's a bit of a scary experience, so let's just be honest that it can be quite nerve-wracking, but let me just be honest with you all, that I had been streaming for at least, about 4 years on Twitch myself, and from my past experience is that you won't expect to have many new followers straight away. It just takes time and patience. And I know that this is an ongoing thing that will be testing your own limits. But the biggest thing about it all is that I can give you some good pro tips on how you first start off with your streaming side of things. And that is that the first and foremost is always be proactive in talking on the stream. Get some friends involved by talking with you on Discord or voice chat, and randomly talk about any topic and discussion and just have fun. Basically enjoy yourselves, show that you are enjoying yourselves and having a great time with friends, and basically build up in your community based on that. The biggest problem that people find is talking to themselves. I know it's not an easy thing. For me, I sometimes talk to myself at work, at home, or whatever I'm doing, like walking, driving, things like that, and it actually helps me. Sometimes, like when somebody answers it for you, you go like, oh, well, okay, that's a different picture right there. But I know it's funny. But the funny thing is, talking to yourself is a tough thing when you first start off streaming. Once you get people starting to interact with you on the stream and talk, hey, that's a bit of a different world for you. But remember that you have to be proactive in talking, build up different topics, talk about anything like from the weather to something like movies, game genre, things like that. Anything about it that makes you happy in doing it. Now, make sure like when you're streaming on Twitch profiles and also your YouTube profiles are connected with your Discord, because if you jump on Discord and you go live for the first time on your streaming side of things, basically that some streamers out there in their communities will have a streamer bot that would actually advertise that you've gone live, and you never know that you might get some viewers from there, and actually it's a good way of promoting yourself out there too. Now remember to be yourself on stream and don't be something else. This is a very important thing for you to understand, that you have to always remember to be yourself on stream and don't be something else as well. So basically you have to remember not to lie or misrepresent yourself in any way, shape or form, because people do catch on pretty quick and they'll start talking about you. Just remember that you always have to be truthful and sincere in whatever you do. The biggest thing about in the streaming side of things is that whenever you're streaming, keep it fun, keep it engaging, keep it real. That is the biggest thing that I have to stress it out to you. And it is important for you to understand that while you're thinking about what makes you happy and what makes your community unique and everything like that in comparison to others, just focus on yourself, your community, and going forward. Don't worry about everyone else. Just focus on your community, yourself and your community, and going forward. That is the biggest pro tip advice I can give you. Now, a good example about this is that, for example, when you think about your community and your streams and stuff like that, for example, when I'm talking about it, are you providing like educational videos or advice on tactics and how to improve your gameplay, or how to spec your commanders or ships better, things like that? Maybe, clan battles is a thing for you, operations and, building up the community, interacting with one another, brawls with friends, rank battles, or even, like just plain old discussions about the good old dev blogs and World of Warships. Think about what is fun for you in this community that helps build a fun and engaging community for yourself and in this channel community, okay? So remember that whenever you're building a community for yourself, you have to remember why it's fun and under what basis. So basically, think outside the box all the time, that you're willing to help and educate others. So remember that a community contributor is designed to be not only a representative of the franchise and stuff like that, but at the same time that you're willing to answer questions and help provide the feedback where it's due. So that's a good thing that helps you building relationships between other streamers as well as the wargaming staff as well. And remember, whenever it comes to NDA stuff, well, NDA, if you're not aware what the terminology means, it's basically non-disclosure agreement. Just keep in mind that that there are certain things you can and can't do. Just always reflect upon that. If there's something that you can't discuss freely, you can't discuss it. If there's something that you can discuss within approval grounds, what wargaming tells you to do, then you can go forth and say whatever you want. But at the same time though, if you don't want to get in trouble for that sort of thing, just play it cool and just say like, look, I know that's NDA, let's just leave it at that. And I don't want to talk about it just in case if I do something wrong or say something wrong. Remember not to misrepresent or provide wrong information and stuff like that, because it is important for you to understand that, as a streamer, it is your integrity on the line here, and always, in going forward. So whenever you're streaming, you have to be, vigilant and always be proactive, and remember to accept criticism and any feedback where it's due as well too. Because remember, you are helping the community. You're not only helping the community, but you're also helping yourself and helping others to understand, build that relationship and understanding one another and actually work together, collaborating ideas, sharing opinions, but at the same time having a good time with everyone out there. And that is a very important thing that is helping making your communities grow and going forward. Now, keep in mind though, when you're streaming, you always find that people can get along with you and can't get along with you. So that's part of the journey, the streaming journey as well. So remember that, it's important to understand all different aspects of the community out there, and make sure the biggest thing about it all is to respect the community. That's the biggest thing you have to understand. Now, remember to uphold the streamer etiquette and be professional in what you do. So basically, if you're in a situation that you don't like someone out there, keep that to yourself and just move forward. That is the biggest advice I can give you. And don't let that discourage you in any way, shape or form, because it does happen to everyone, just letting you know. But at the end of the day, as long as you remain professional in what you do and keep it clean, keep it respectable, despite whatever is being thrown at you, just keep pushing forward and always respect the community and respect everyone's opinions as well. And this is the biggest thing about it all. And I know then I have had my own fair experiences with that, but I always keep it professional despite of whatever the circumstances. And also remember that if you're unsure about anything to provide out there, don't provide misleading information in any way, shape or form. It's alright for you to say like, I'm sorry, I didn't, check it out, or I didn't, review it, I had been busy and stuff like that. You can make a plausible excuse, but at the same time that you're interested, check it out. And if you're when you say you're interested, check it out and get back to them, that's the best way to handle it as well too. Don't say something and then realize, oh shit, you're in the wrong. It has happened before. Everyone does it. Okay, so you know. We use the terminology "shit happens," and it's a great slogan, by the way. So if you accidentally, said something that was not right, that's okay. That's cool. I mean, like, everyone does it, but yeah, that even if you did it in the wrong, always be polite and be prepared to follow it up. But at the same time, honest answers is always good. Just letting you know. So honest answers is always good. If you don't know the answer to it, just to say like, I don't know the answer. Sorry, I'm out of touch, out of the loop, or something like that. And at least it's better than providing the wrong information. But the best advice I can give you is that if there's like you're in a situation where you have been busy with real life, a lot of things have been happening, and you're you're being thrown with a lot of questions, the best advice I can give you is that take a step back and say, okay, obviously, I'm kind of like out of the loop, but let people know that I'll be proactive next time and just follow up, from the dev blogs or whatever has been thrown at you, and at the same time, make the extra mile to research. Keep yourself up to date. Even if you've got a good mod team or people behind you, or that you talk to a lot, always keep yourself up to date. That is the best advice I can give you right now. Now, this one here is about, so you got your stream set up, everything's going well, you got a good setup running, and basically you're building up your community and you have to get to know your community better. Now, remember that you have to set up your social media or for yourself. Think about, you need to create a YouTube channel if you want to do highlights, replays, gaming discussion, dev blog reviews, things like that. Also, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is also other social media platforms that you can use for anything. TikTok, well, I know that some people use TikTok, just for random videos and highlights and stuff, but either way, I mean, like, whatever works for you, just think about that, explore those opportunities. Now, sometimes setting up a simple standardized system through LinkTree, for example. Now, this is a good example of what LinkTree is. Basically, LinkTree is basically showing all the social media links and stuff like that, and it's actually very handy. It's free and it's good to use. Now, it's also helped building social media networks with other streamers, other people out there, but at the same time that it actually builds up your own community and going forward, so you can post pretty much virtually mostly everything on there. But anyways, the best advice I can give you is set up a stream Discord for yourself. Now, a stream Discord for yourself in your community is a great thing to have, because it's not only just an online forum discussion where people can converse and have fun with you. You can actually set up things on there like random dev blog posts and stuff like that to be announced on your channels in there, and also make announcements about your stream when you're going live and other things that's happening to you, or just having random channels just for fun, like food channels, video channels for laughs, music for enjoyment and relaxation, voice channels for different games just to play and have fun, interact with the community. Things like that actually help you in going forward. Now, one thing that some people come to me about in regarding to setting up your streamer bot for the first time. Now, streamer bots are like Stream Elements, Nightbot, Moobot, Frostbot, things like that. It's like there's so many out there, and you go like, oh. Well, okay. Truth to be told, yes, like it's overwhelming, but it's a good thing because you can set up these streamer bots to help you for commands as well as, you know, giveaways, and at the same time that you can have certain timers for certain things, certain commands that the viewers can interact with you and have fun with you. Blurps is another good thing as well too. They actually play some random sounds. And now we're getting back to the music side of things. Now, the music side of things, I have to admit that this is a bit of a tricky one because of the DMCA, copyright laws and stuff like that. Music in general, in my perspective, is that it's nice to play music online because it helps, you know, build up a community, and you can play a variety of different music within acceptable means, and at the same time that you want to have your viewers engage and have fun times with you. That's pretty much what you're aiming for. So pretty much when you look at that sort of thing, you're building an interactive, fun and engaging community that's proactive and relaxing and going forward. And that is something that, you know, like everyone wants to have a piece of the pie. Honestly, that's actually very nice to have. Remember that Shoutout commands is also very handy. Now, for example, when a streamer raids you or you want to shout out somebody's community, the shoutout command is very handy to have. Also, I have to say that, you know, that whenever a person randomly comes and visits your channel and they're a streamer, they get an auto shout out is actually very handy as well too. So take that into consideration. There are plenty of tutorials around there, but if you want to know more about how to do that, I can help you out with that. But in going forward though, that remember, as you slowly or rapidly building your community, you need to focus on yourself and not the others around you. That's the biggest thing I need to stress out to you when you're doing it. One biggest thing that I took a bit of criticism for myself, and this was a very simple one, that you need to always focus on yourself and your channel and community first before everyone else, just letting you know. And you don't fall into the trap of the habit of going out of people's channels and randomly sit in someone's channel and then expect a shout out. Like, for example, if you go to somebody's channel and you have been there watching them for at least maybe half an hour or even not even 5 minutes, you don't expect a shout out. But the thing is that you have to remember that streamers have to build trust with other streamers, and that is the biggest importance in going forward. And the biggest importance in doing that is to understand that you don't, you know, to deliberately type ! lurk at somebody's channel, because if you're live streaming, they're live streaming, some people have mixed reactions to that. I'm just going to leave it as that, just letting you know. So when I had that happen to me, I was told that, hey, I didn't appreciate it. Just remember to respect the boundaries of your other streamers, just letting you know. But the thing is though, that even if you just lurk in the channel and don't say a single word, that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. But remember that you always have to stay focused on your community first and keep focusing on building it. That is it. There's more importance. That's number one. Just letting you know. Now, just remember that, as I said before, I did touch base about this a little bit briefly, that as I said, like, you know, there are some times that you can get along with someone and then can't get along with someone. If you can't get along with someone, that's okay. Just move on and focus on what makes you happy in going forward. Just ignore them, just be yourself, do whatever you can for yourself, and just have fun, doing whatever you like. Remember that not all communities out there are meant for everyone, but what's important is you are having fun and enjoying yourself and having a great time. You're enjoying yourself, doing whatever you like, but at the end of the day, it's all about how you do it in going forward. And just remember that there's plenty of communities out there, gaming communities out there, and then at the end of the day, it's all about what is your own preference and what makes you happy in going forward, right? So at the end of the day, people will check you out and you never know what the end result will be. So just remember to stay positive, that things will get better for you in going forward. As your community grows, giveaways are nice, but not a must-have, and never going to be on your own means. I mean, like, let's just be honest with that this is a good example of what a giveaway that I usually do for my channel and community. Now, that's actually not a bad thing, that you encourage people to be following your channel and community, because you want to build up your community base, and you want to build that interaction with the community in the long term. Not only that like you have to set the standard of your giveaway rules and things like that. So when you're thinking about the giveaway rules for your own channel community, you have to decide what that you feel is best for yourself and going forward. Like for example, like this. Like with the giveaway, you're stating that you have to be following the channel. You could also look into idea that what servers you're going to be providing the giveaways for, and at the same time that you can always look at the idea that if you can't provide the giveaways on that certain server, look into the idea of team up with someone that you can provide the giveaways on different servers, and look at the idea of repaying them back for what they have done, and looking into the idea of expanding for yourself onto those servers as well, and get your active accounts up and running by following their recruitment links and stuff like that, which will help build your own communities and going forward. Now, with that being said though, you have to take into consideration that you have to expand your own accounts on those different servers, and at the same time that you'll have to remember that as you build up your own accounts on the other servers, you should be able to do giveaways on those different servers as well too, and going forward. So you just have to remember that, keep that in mind, that when you're doing that sort of thing, that is a really full-on tiresome job. I can tell you that right now from experience, I actually play all 3 servers on NA, EU, Asia server. It is full-on. I'm not gonna lie to you, it is full-on, because like I will admit that there are times that I can't focus on EU for 1 week, NA for another week, Asia for another week. So basically what I do is just switch it up, have a bit of stream scheduling involved, and then so like this day will be Asia, this day will be NA, this day will be EU, and it kind of works, but at least you're showing that you're very active in doing so, and that's very important for you to understand. And that helps you in the long term, because you don't have to rely on, depend on somebody to do it for you in going forward in terms of future giveaways. But anyways, that's just an example. And then remember to set up your streamer goals. Now, I have to say that streamer goals is great. I mean, like, let's just focus on the common ones. Like, for example, follower goals, subscriber goals are two very simple, common goals that you can use on your stream and the community, which is very straightforward. It's great to have. Don't worry about Twitch partner or YouTube partnership, because it will come at some point in the near future, because as your community grows, your viewership grows, and at the end of the day, if you continue to have a very consistent stream schedule, and that is a very important thing, having a very consistent stream schedule and going forward will actually help build your community in going forward. That is a very important thing as well too. Stream schedules is a really tricky one, because I know that everyone juggles it with real life. We all do. There's some of us are studying, some of us are working, some of us are doing both. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, you just have to remember that you have to have that balance, and don't overdo it yourself in the process. Don't burn yourself out. That's really important for you to understand. Now, in terms of your stream schedule, just think about what's consistent, what you can do, can achieve, and keep at it. If there's sometimes like you have to cancel because of real life matters, that is understandable. If there's something that needs to change, like for example that you got real life has changed because you got, instead of working like 4 days a week, you're working 5 days a week, and you have to do instead of like 4 streams a week, you're down to 2. Do what you can, adjust. inform your community, keep yourself up to date, keep them up to date. That's the biggest thing. Community is really important for you because the one biggest C word that we use is communication. Communication is key, and that is the biggest thing as a streamer, that you have to always communicate and keep them up to date. Now, stream teams and sponsorships are good to have as well too. So stream teams in general is that you can join stream teams. You don't have to, but it's nice to be part of something. Stream teams is good because it can help you represent their communities or the team that you're part of, but at the same time, it helps encourage the others team members, you know, to help support your community as well and make it grow as well and going forward. So help you build your communities going forward. Don't rely on the stream team to do everything what you do. Just remember that whatever you do in your channel is all in you, so you know. Always collaborate ideas and work closely with your team and see where it can, you know, help achieve your own goals and going forward, because at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. That this is a hobby for enjoyment. Now, sponsorships is nice to have. You can do them to help build publicity for your community. Stream Raiders, for example, is a very good one because it help, you know, encourage new viewers from the communities out there to check you out and to get to know you better as well too. Now, I have to say, understanding the game and the challenges you may see ahead of you is going to be always ongoing. Now, the game will always be challenging and changing all the time for new updates, new ships, new items, new buffs, nerfs, and people will always have opinions on something. Remember, as a streamer, your opinions are your own, but you always have to check out, you know, whatever the guidelines are of what wargaming would expect of you. But at the same time, though, as you think about it, in terms of any game franchise, just remember that you have to be respectable and always, you know, be vigilant of what you say, what you do on there as well too, because like once you say something on there, you can't take it back. Keep in mind though that you have to be willing to create content if that is fun and engaging as well. Remember to always have fun with your community and give feedback where it's due. Respect everyone's viewpoints and be ready to defend your own point against other viewers as well too. So if somebody doesn't like your viewpoint, be respectable at the same time. But you know, at the end of the day, it is about, you know, sharing your own thoughts together. Be proactive with your streaming community and also your chat. Encourage people to chat as well too. Always engage with your audience, and that's the biggest thing about it all. Try to join other programs like the private tier or super test programs that, you know, World of Warships will have to offer, because if you think about it, if you are a member of it, the good thing about this is that it actually helps, you know, give a bit of exposure. If you don't get in it, don't stress, it's okay. But I'm just saying that it probably would help a bit of an exposure of NDA, get familiar with what it's like. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about what you want to do and going forward. But, you know, just remember that being part of something is actually a great thing, an achievement itself, to be part of the, you know, the membership of the community itself. So, you know, like, if you think about it, you'll be a proud member of the community no matter what. And always check out the World of Warship devlogs. Always check out the World of Warship streams. You know, Joe, check it out and listen to it, and, you know, see how it's going on there and get familiar with the community. Interact, you know, like with your community managers, get to understand them a little bit better. Understand the other fellow streamers. You know, it's a great, you know, culture out there. I mean, like, there's a lot of, you know, people around the world with different, you know, opinions, ideas, and at the end of the day, I mean, like, you have to look about what you are willing to do in going forward. And this is the biggest thing that I would encourage you to do, is basically sit back, relax, watch the other, you know, wargaming staff, community managers, and get to know the other streamers around the world who stream this game, and at the same time watch, learn, and think about what you would like to do and apply it to your own content. That's the biggest thing I would encourage you to do. For example, teach about, commander tech tree builds, ship ambushing, positioning, and more. Think more about what you can do, and you're very good at teaching. And if there's something you're not comfortable with and willing to learn, reach out to the people and be proactive in doing it better. This experience does not happen overnight. But if you take the time and then just enjoy the ride, the rewards are never endless. That is just my piece of advice right there. So we've finally reached the home stretch of this video. This is about applying for the CC program, and pretty much the thing about this is that I'm gonna think about like what kind of advice that I can give you to help include in your own applications and going forward. And this is something that I learned from past experience, and this is actually very beneficial. First and foremost, whenever you're applying for the CC program, there'll be a random bunch of questions on there that you have to fill in, and you have to read them carefully and take your own time with it. A good suggestion given to me a while ago was to check out the questions, copy and paste them to a Word document, and then practice it on the Word document, write it out, make many drafts as possible, and basically, put it down there on the table, for example, write it all out, and then basically what it comes to your mind, and then work on it, consistently. Always do many drafts, and then basically, if you've got a good friend that is pretty good with writing, proofreading, or even have this experience for this sort of thing, get them to, cross-check it with you and work together as a team, building this sort of thing. So that's actually a good thing, helping you understand what you're trying to say, but at the same time, you're trying to set up, some expectations and make it a bit more clear and concise, so that you have, cleared up the language barriers and things like that as well too. And also, a good pro tip that was shared to me a while ago was that one of the community managers gave me some good solid advice, and that was using Social Blade, for example, as a good, social media metric standard program, where it actually shows you in like how your community is growing, and at the same time your viewership is being steady, or where it's going, not going, that kind of thing. And it actually helps build you a bit of a better understanding what you're in for. And at the same time that any screenshots from feedback that's been given to you about your community and stuff is actually a very good thing as well in going forward. And then focus on keep on streaming, keep it fun, keep it professional, keep it lively, keep it engaging, and don't worry about your own channel and seeing who or how many people are watching you at the time. Just focus on engaging the audience, being yourself in a live stream, and having fun. That's what everyone wants out of you. Let's be honest, okay? So they're here to watch you. That's the biggest thing. Remember to relax and enjoy yourself. Get some friends involved, get them involved, get them to, have fun with you. Even if you're meeting up the viewership numbers and your content is getting there, just keep at it, just think about, what makes your channel so unique, why you deserve to be that person in that position and for that role. And at the same time that, always collaborate with your fellow friends and other people out there, and just at the end of the day, you just want to succeed, in your goals. And basically, remember to keep building a community always. And once you're meeting the minimum requirements, just stream for the fun of it. And once your application goes in, the World of Warships team, will check you out your own content. In the meantime, don't expect to get CC straight away. It doesn't happen all the time. But even if you're given any feedback, use that as your own strength for the next application, learn from it, and keep pushing forward and going forward, and use that as your own strength for the next application, and so on and so forth. But that's generally that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, like, if you do get into the CC program, trust me, it's a great feeling. You'll love an experience. You'll get to correspond with your fellow streamers and the wargaming staff. and working together, making the franchise a better place, and the rewards are never endless. That's so pretty much that is my guide and advice and tips into getting into the CC program. So the first thing and foremost is that just take your time with it. Happy streaming, folks, and looking forward to seeing you there to become part of the family one day. But at the same time, action stations, my friends, and good luck out there and enjoy streaming. Have fun, everyone.